So it got cold again. Weather is changing back and forth, and I'm gonna show you something that I shot earlier, and you have to watch the whole thing all the way to the end. I'll promise just to keep the Doing Stuff with Patrick short, like 7 minutes, no longer than 7 minutes. So it's 7 minutes of your life. You can spend that, and remember the number 7. It's going to come in later. It's very important. So now we're going to do something that's called a segue. A segue ties two things together seamlessly in a nice transition. So here's the segue. Bamboo, bamboo, bamboo. So speaking of bamboo, lots of things you can do with it. Number one is burn it when it gets dry. And you saw in the first video, I was chopping it up to stack it and burn it. And if you haven't seen that, go back and watch the first Doing Stuff with Patrick, and then you'll see what I'm talking about. However, when it burns, I chop it like that so it won't explode, because bamboo will explode when you burn it. So check this video out of slow motion. It's kind of neat. Fire looks cool, and the bamboo explodes. Another nice thing to do with bamboo is to cut it and make screening, like privacy screening in your yard. And I've done that a few times, like this, and this, and this. However, we had a section of our yard, this is where I'm going to rant for a minute. We have a section of our yard where the bamboo was growing, and the neighbor didn't like it. And so the neighbor sprayed it with Roundup. And if anybody knows about Roundup, it's a systemic poison for plants, and it gets into the leaves, it goes through the system, in the roots, and it kills them. And bamboo is like one big colony. It's a grass, and all the root systems are connected. So this poison went in, and it killed this large section next to the fence. Let me show you. So this is the part of the fence where the lovely neighbor poisoned the bamboo. It's a big gaping hole there, and he's got a nice street light on his shed that shines in. So this is where I have to put in the new fence. I've got my poles, big long poles. It's going to be a very tall privacy fence. I've got my crosses for that, but I'll need a few other things. And a few things I'll need is a post hole digger. So I've got one, but it's beat up, but we're going to fix it. So let's do that first. So here's my post hole digger. As you can see, it's really kind of falling apart. So I'm going to replace the wood with metal pipe. So let's go ahead and take care of that. I'll have to take these screws out, take these bolts out, cut the pipe. There we go. A lot harder than I thought. Bolts rusted. It's going to be a little bit more difficult than I thought. The bolts are rusted, and when I do turn them, the other side of the wood is kind of rotten, so it's not catching. So don't know how I'm going to do that. Might have been a good idea to just buy a new one, but started it, so I've got to finish it. Maybe I'll just grind them off. What am I doing? I'm going to be cutting the pipe with the Sawzall with the metal blade anyway. Why don't I just cut these bolts? Why am I grinding them? Alright, so we have the Sawzall with the metal blade on it. I'm going to try and cut this and see what happens.
Are you hungry for pork chops?
Sure. Thank you, that'd be good. Yes. Yes. And that's how you do that. That didn't work. There you go. Now I'm going to cut the pipe. Alright, so the pipes are cut. Now I have to drill some holes. So I didn't want to go out to the store again. So I got some hodgepodge bolts to do this with. Hodgepodge meaning they don't match. Last piece is always the hardest. And that's how you turn one broken post hole digger into a badass Frankenstein post hole digger.
Amazing Products presents the Badass Frankenstein Post Hole Digger. The Badass Frankenstein Post Hole Digger is constructed of an old post hole digger and metal poles salvaged from a chain link fence that some drunk drove through. The Badass Frankenstein Post Hole Digger is made in America by an American guy sitting on his ass in his mom's front yard.
It's alive!
The Badass Frankenstein Post Hole Digger digs holes. The Badass Frankenstein Post Hole Digger slices. The Badass Frankenstein Post Hole Digger dices. Locked out of your house again? No problem! The Badass Frankenstein Post Hole Digger allows you to gain access to your residence or someone else's. Order today and we'll throw in the old wooden poles for free. The Badass Frankenstein Post Hole Digger is not sold in stores, but you can get yours for 17 easy payments of $49.99 or 49 easy payments of $17.99. You do the math. Call now to get your Badass Frankenstein Post Hole Digger. The number to call is 1-800-228-2222. Operators are standing by. That number again is 1-800-586-8989. Quantities are limited, so call now. Once again, that number is 1-800-777-77777777. The Badass Frankenstein Post Hole Digger. Get yours today.
So that's the show. Unfortunately, while I was shooting, I broke my glasses, so I got to get those fixed. So remember to like, share, comment, subscribe. We'll see you next time on Doing Stuff with Patrick.